They were trying to say that the people close to us can be very annoying.
Why are you looking at me?
What's the other song?
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy everything.
Happy winter solstice
Happy winter solstice.
Whatever.
So,
for us Vikings.
welcome to What the Flicks podcast. This is episode 76. This is our Christmas special. And we have some.
Your name is?
And you are.
I haven't finished.
Yeah, there you go.
Leave her alone.
Special. And we have some really great picks that we hope you'll watch. So, my name is Susan Ayers.
I'm Patty Smith.
I'm Lon Shima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields, and I'm still trying to find the good picks.
Okay. So, our movies this week are Christmas with the Kranks, The Night Before, The Hebrew Hammer, Red One, and the best Christmas pageant ever. So we're going to start this week with Patty.
Yep. Mine is Christmas with the Kranks. It's a 2004 movie.
Don't let that 5% this way is at least 6%. No, kidding.
Anything else?
Have you finished?
Quickly. There's going to be a Christmas fight here tonight.
Don't piss off the bear.
Don't poke the bear.
Okay. Yeah, don't poke the bear. The bear.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the critics, 5% liked it. And the audience, 39%. But I would say give it a shot once. It's a very lighthearted movie. It's like Grown Ups 1 and 2. It's like so many movies that you see that are just lighthearted, funny, and that's it. There's no major message here. So it starts off with a couple, and that's Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. And they're alone for Christmas because their daughter Blair has decided she's going to stay at college for this Christmas. They decide they're going to go to the Caribbean and give up Christmas and not do anything Christmas things. Well, their neighbors hear of it, and they soon become pariahs in their neighborhood because the neighbors are very insistent they do their usual Christmas stuff. And it starts becoming a fight between the two of who's going to win. Dan Akroyd plays the kind of like the leader of the neighborhood. And in a really nice way, he's always reminding them of what they're not doing, right? So they start to really pressure them. And as they're fighting back, they get a call. And all of a sudden, their daughter's deciding she's coming home for Christmas. And that throws everybody in a tizzy. And the neighbors help the Kranks put together in one day a Christmas Eve party. And on the side note, there's a little side thing where Tim Allen's neighbor hates Tim Allen and Tim Allen hates him. But the wife has been sick. And so...
Which wife? The neighbors are...
The neighbor's wife. Well, you didn't watch it. That's right. And so you see a sweet thing happen at the end, but then you see them all pull together. But the funniest parts are actually when they're in strife with each other and they fight. And what's really interesting about this movie is John Grisham, the author, wrote it, which totally surprised me.
And also Chris Columbus, who's also a very good writer.
Who?
Chris Columbus.
Well,
You wrote
he
this?
did the screenplay.
Yeah.
The story is by John Grisham, though.
A director is Joe Roth.
Roth, yeah.
Roth. And I liked it. I've always liked it.
Yeah, for me, it ticks all the boxes what a Christmas movie should have, right? Deals with family, deals with the holiday season, deals with your neighbors, deals with the food, deals with the shopping, deals with everything. It has Santa in it.
Yeah.
And not just that's like the criteria I like. Okay, it's like, okay, first of all, am I going to be touched at the end of the movie? That's like has to be one of the criteria of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, me too.
Because and in some way, somebody's going to find the true meaning of Christmas using a movie. And like I said, and hopefully it's not a requirement, but I always hope that a Santa, the real Santa, shows up.
That's Tim Allen's other movie.
So it's just a fun movie.
Yes.
You have to realize, though, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Columbus is the person who did Home Alone. So this is not nearly as was popular or endearing as, say, something like Home Alone.
Right.
But he knows the Christmas. In fact, at one point, you could see it almost repeats.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, is this going to turn into a Home Alone? Which, again, has to be one of the most iconic Christmas movies, American Christmas movies, I think, ever, right? So it's fine for what it is. I was just sort of disappointed because I actually sort of agreed with Tim Allen's point of view. The reason he decides to script Christmas is like, you know what? We spent over $6,100 last year on Christmas. And like I said, this is 2004.
Right.
So this is 20 years ago. And I thought, God, I can't even imagine spending 10% of that on any Christmas period myself.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a home, and I'm not part of the HOA where you, like you said, oh no, you got to put up your Frosty the Snowman on the roof. You have to decorate your lights. You have to have this, you know? So stuff like that, or even the party, which it's very funny because at one point when Jamie Lee Curtis, playing Tim Allen's wife, agrees, she's Mrs. Kranks, she says, okay, but we still have to make our charitable contributions, like Children's Hospital. And he still says, no, we cut off everything.
Right.
So she refuses to go on the cruise. But until he says, okay, we'll do the donations, I said, fine, I'll go on the cruise now. Like she feels somehow satisfied that, yeah, somebody in Christmas is going to get something charitable, at least from them.
Right.
But you could tell she sort of doesn't want to do it because she feels guilty about telling her friends, like they have an annual Christmas Eve party, and they're saying, no, it's not happening.
She feels guilty about everything.
In a way, right? But you could tell, and her daughter means everything to her. And when you see her reaction when the daughter calls her on her phone, right?
Right.
So it's like you could see she's just this like loving mother who just wants everything to be right. But she also wants to keep her husband happy because she could tell like he's having a problem this year with Christmas. And she wonders, okay, is it him, the daughter going away? They're left alone by themselves and this and that. But I thought he came with like a really good plan of like, no, let's go to someplace warm.
Right.
We're going to have this cruise, right? To the Bermuda, if I'm not mistaken. I thought, I'd do that. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Lots of people do
They're
that.
sort of unattached, right?
A lot of people do that.
But what's funny is, and this is something I hope Americans will sort of understand it, but I know, like, I had a lot of international friends who didn't understand why, like, when they come to LA, how come they don't decorate the house for Christmas? Why aren't all the houses decorated? It's like, well, because they're not all Christians. You have to
They should
explain
go
things
down
like that.
on Larchmont there. They have
Or up
great
in the
Christmas.
hills, or out in Beverly Hills.
But not like they do back east.
Well,
They
that's
do a
just saying,
great
not
job.
when they do it in a small town in America.
Oh, yeah.
That you go down that block and every house is decorated.
I love
In fact,
that.
it was so weird for me to be in Virginia and to see how many houses were decorated for Halloween. And I'm not just talking, what we do here, but I'm talking like 8-foot statues of Jack Skellington in front of the house and stuff like that. I mean, I was sort of amazed.
They
I
do it.
keep forgetting. It's like, that's that old town, old America spirit of the holidays and embracing it, but everybody in the community embraces it.
I know, it's so
that's
great.
what you really get to see here. So like I said, that's why I said, I didn't think it was the greatest movie by any means, but I just thought, okay, this is a Christmas movie, and I think it works because its heart is in the right place. And even Tim Allen's character, who I think is really unlikable, but like I said, I identify with them. Only because he keeps resisting. But like, for example, he goes on the cruise and he does things that I think are sort of ridiculous, like getting Botox and trying to get the fake tan before you go on a cruise. And
that was funny.
But see,
That was funny.
I'm just asking myself, like she is like, no, we're going on a tan. I said, that's where you get we're going on a cruise. That's where you get the tan. You don't have to pre-tan yourself. So I thought, how annoying is this character? But then I thought, he's going through a midlife crisis. That's to me very obvious when
But
I
a
watch
lot of
this
people
movie.
do that. They get tanned before they go to get tanned.
I understand that.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
me
that's
too.
what I thought was strange. I thought that was strange because,
Hollywood.
well,
Be
that's what I
a woman
wonder.
in the next life. You won't think it's strange.
Yeah.
Well, that was a funny thing because there's the man who wanted it, and she's the
Yeah,
one who
yeah,
said
it's
no.
funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
That's.
a lot of great actors are in it.
Yeah.
Emmett Walsh actually plays the neighbor. You
That's
know?
it, yeah.
But then you have people like I said, Dan Aykroyd playing a character. Cheech Marin and Jake Busey playing
yeah.
a couple cops.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're going to see a lot of recognizable faces. Tom Poston being in
Right.
it too.
Last movie.
Who?
You ever
Tom
met-
Poston,
Poston.
P-O-S-T-O-N. Poston, okay, yeah. These were all just sort of like fun actors to see, and that's why I thought I had no problems with this movie.
No,
but like
me
I said, it's like, okay, it's not like a Christmas story to me.
No.
Or it's not like a couple of like the best Christmas pageant ever, which we'll get to. It's like those are like really to me Christmas movies that get your hooks into you. This is just like, you know what?
Light.
It's Christmas time. Watch this movie and you'll have fun and
Yeah.
it'll keep you in the Christmas spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked it too. I thought now it makes sense because I kept reminding me of Home Alone, and you say the same guy did it.
Well, Chris
So it makes
Columbus
sense
did the
'cause-
Really?
screenplay.
Because that's the same feel. The movie had me just at the opening scene had me. I was on the floor laughing when it's raining and the whole back and forth. That was just so funny because Tim Allen's pretty good at that kind of goofy.
Yeah.
I can see a couple of other actors who could play that role too, where they kind of. The wife tells him something, and they're like, "Oh, okay," so he does it, and he's kind of the car hits him with the water, and then the thing.
Yeah.
I was dying of laughing.
Oh, exactly.
So also the movie kind of also I like this kind of Christmas movies too. There's always something magical in them. In this case, it might be I don't know if it's a spoiler, but
Get the
I'll say-
umbrella.
Yeah. So there's always
Oh, the
even though
umbrella.
they're supposed to be more realistic, there's always something magical underneath it. I thought Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis actually they're both cracking me up. They're both really funny, and the movie also shows you what happens when you go against the masses. You
Yes.
think everything's fine until you go against the masses, and it's like wow. But if they're doing an HOA, it makes sense to me. The town is upset because now they lost the best, most beautiful street, I guess, in the city that they won for 6 years
Exactly.
straight. So it's his fault. So, and then what is this? Oh, and also when it says how expensive that was, it shows you why people get stressed at Christmas. It's expensive, and that's why everybody's like, it's just people are like all stressed out. But yeah, I thought that they were like little too, which I'm sure you're gonna mention to the spoiling of the daughter, and she's 23 years old and she's not nine. So, but in that, yeah, it's light, but I enjoyed it. I was laughing the whole time.
Sue? Bob didn't watch it.
Yeah, but he's
well,
seen
I'm
it
gonna-
before.
Oh,
No,
have you?
no, I haven't seen it, but I do want to talk about this, and I want to talk about what you guys were saying because what? What's funny about that?
Because you haven't seen it.
But he wants to talk
I
about
want to
it,
talk
so.
about it, about the experience and why I didn't see it.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
A lot of this stuff. I've worked with Tim Allen. He's a very nice man. I don't find him that funny. If I watch some of the old Saturday Night Live things, I remember what a genius Dan Aykroyd was, and I haven't seen him do that since he got into movies. So I said, well, let me watch the trailer because it was going to cost a few bucks to watch this, and I said, I want to see if
Sorry
it's
about
worth
that.
it. So, well, it wouldn't have costed what it would have cost me if I went to see that Greatest American Pageant. So no blame there. I have a tendency to be judgmental. I've been in this business for a long time. I used to be in this business. It's been a long time since I've been in the business. But I do form opinions about stuff. And so when I watched the trailer, I said, okay, I always liked Jamie Lee Curtis. Tim Allen, he's kind of doing what I've seen him do before. I don't even remember. I scarcely remember Dan Aykroyd being in the trailer. So I had a lot of judgment on it. But when I listened to you guys talk about it, I said, well, maybe I missed out on something. Maybe I should watch this movie, or maybe I might enjoy it. But I just as I say, especially when we have to be laying out money for stuff that I don't have. I mean, I'm not. That's been more the past. I've got the money to do it now, but. I will say, yeah, it's not for me.
You're selective.
But I wanted to point out, all of this that I'm saying is my opinion. It's not. I'm not saying whether a movie is bad. I'm saying whether or not I like it. So, don't take my opinion on this one because I haven't seen it.
Right.
Listen to these other 4 people who have seen it.
Yes.
And I'll have things to say about 2 of the other movies because there's another one I haven't seen either, but that was way too expensive. Anyway,
But
on to Susie.
But that was the strange thing, Bob, because I saw it for free. It was on Freevee
It
with
was
ads.
free, wasn't
yeah,
it?
I didn't have to pay anything.
See, when I looked it up, it was
and that was on
costing
Amazon
something.
Prime, so I don't know. I just saw it with Freevee.
Freebie,
Yeah.
So,
Is it
just
my
so you
turn?
know.
Huh, because I didn't
No, I
see
just want to let him know.
Susie's turn.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just didn't see any place where it was available to watch without paying something for it at that time.
Okay, the movie kept me laughing. I'll say that. I thought the message was downright scary.
Susie always does find the depth in
movie
these
depicts a Christmas as a contemporary secular occasion, holiday. I did have some problems with the idea of the film. So, in other words, it's like I had a problem with the movie was hysterical. And if you accept the premise of the movie, it's hysterical. And even if you don't, it's hysterical. But and how can you fault Tim Allen? Just think of like Galaxy Quest. He's fantastic. It's like he's
Tell them why you didn't like it.
Oh, yes. Okay. I think that it would be very normal to go on a cruise at Christmas time. That's like normal thing, right? Because they don't have the child was actually going to
Italy.
No, Machu Picchu.
Peru?
in
Machu Picchu?
Right.
Peru.
Right.
Right, sorry.
The daughter.
Right.
She was going.
She belongs to that's some kind of army thing. What do you call that?
Well, it was the what do they
the
call
reserves or something like that?
it? You don't know that thing where you volunteer. Kennedy
Peace
started
Corps.
the program.
Peace Corps.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, so the child had already left home. She was going to Machu Picchu. She joined the Peace Corps. But going on a cruise, according to this film, is not a normal thing to do. It's like
Not that
the
place.
neighborhood is ruthlessly rigid about the appropriate way to celebrate Christmas, right? They win this community best decoration things, and apparently because they didn't do it, although I thought it could be a compromise, I thought they could do it and still go on their cruise.
But
but
you
anyways.
didn't like it because the wife did not concede to the husband's the one once in a lifetime.
But
Yeah,
you know,
no, I'm getting
West.
there. I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
a
babe.
common theme in these movies, though, they miss the spirit of Christmas.
Good point,
They
George.
miss the spirit of Christmas. They get caught up in the whole rigid.
That is not the
rules.
spirit of Christmas. They gave themselves a gift.
How dare they?
No,
Yeah,
but-
it was like-
but-
it
no,
was
no,
like-
I'm talking about the town. The movies.
So
the
you're
movies-
saying it's a
No,
movie
yes.
about people
The
who
movies-
don't believe in
yes.
Santa
The movie
Claus?
show that people miss the spirit of Christmas
Right,
or,
it was
or the
very,
holidays.
and
or,
in fact, when we
or
go to
winter
the other
solstice.
one you didn't see, I thought that was also, yes, they were saying that they had the right idea of Christmas. Anyways, let's
We'll get
let's
there. We'll
forget
get
there.
there.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, they did get the prize, which they get every year for the last 10 years,
Right.
because they didn't put snowman on the roof.
Snowy.
In the movie, and Tim Allen, he really wants to do this for 20 years. He does all this stuff that he's not into for years, and now he wants to do this, but they just couldn't give him that. That's
No.
like, it's like he's the devil, you know. It's
And
like
not just the town, the office too. They go Scrooge and
I really never thought of it like that
to
until you
me,
mentioned
Tim
it.
Allen was a saint. He was a saint. Right? Even though I didn't agree with the
message.
Promise of it?
the presentation. I understand what they were trying to say. They were trying to say that the people close to us can be very annoying.
Why are you looking at me?
Annoying, right? But they're actually the ones you could really depend on in the crunch. That's what the movie was trying to say. I just didn't like the way they said it, you know? So, and another thing I loved about the movie, it had it had this running through the movie is this whole mystical thing too that becomes apparent later on in the movie, but they really don't make it a big deal.
No.
They just it's just kind of understated and there. And I really like that because I do think there's something, I wouldn't call it religious, but magical.
Always. About
You know,
Christmas, always magical.
and they,
Exactly.
and that was very much done through Austin Pendleton,
Right.
who
Oh, yeah, I
played,
did not find out until today that he was in it, or I would have watched it.
yeah, he was the Umbrella Santa.
Yeah.
And he made the movie magic.
Well, it's like, hey, well, Papa Bear and talk to people and they're like, how you doing? Who's that guy? Paying everybody by their names. Hey, how you doing, Bob? Well, good, thanks. Who's that guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny. So, anyways, that's my opinion.
Well, if I may, you just said something I think is very interesting about this, and I think if the picture had had more of the magic in it, the critics wouldn't have liked it as much, but the public would have liked it better.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, a lot of these things that we're watching, the public loved
it.
them, but the critics didn't because
listens to the critics?
because people, you know, there's certain things you want. Like when I'm a big murder mystery person. I want you know what? They had the detectives sitting in the room telling the people. It's like, yes, you want that. That's what you get in a detective.
Critics suck.
Because British detectives.
You wanted to get around at the end.
Yes, you want that. You want that thing because that's part of it. You know, it's
Absolutely.
like you would feel cheated if
Yeah.
it wasn't there.
Should be there.
Where they explain the whole thing. So yeah, I really liked it.
So should we grade?
Yes, I gave this a 5.
I gave it a 7.
I give it. I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7, but I still think you should watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At least the next one is a movie I saw.
So we'll be back.
So will we be back?
Okay, so we will be back next week, and stay tuned. Watch the movie.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.